Well, good morning and welcome to the sixth annual Best Places to Work of the Inland Northwest Celebration. This is a perennial event in Spokane, and I think one of the most engaging and cool events. And one of the reasons I say that is because it's a wonderful opportunity to showcase what employers are doing, the ones that are creating unique cultures and that are attracting talent, not just from our region, but sometimes outside. So it's an honor to be with you today. My name is Kevin Parker. I own the Dutch Bros coffee chain here in Spokane. And so it's fun to be with you. We certainly wish that we were at the convention center today, but nonetheless, at least we're able to gather over Zoom. One thing, usually, if we were at the convention center, I'd be asking everyone to silence their cell phones and things of that nature, but we're going to take an opposite approach to that. Since we're on Zoom today, we don't need to worry about cell phones ringing, but what we would love to do is for you to be tweeting this and Instagramming and Facebook, whatever social media that you use, but please feel free to send tweets about the event and how it's going. And if I screw up, you can certainly send a tweet on that too. So you'll probably have some material right there. What I'd like us to do as we move on is remember that this is a very competitive process. And there are so many companies that could have been here. This is the best of the best, literally. These are companies and organizations that have created these cultures that are so dynamic that the rest of the community and their own employees take note. And that's what brings us here today. So these are not ordinary companies that we're working with. On the other side of the spectrum, they are extraordinary in every sense of the word. And they remind us the value of what it means to honor, to take care of the people that work with us, and the value of creating a culture. In fact, Harvard has done a lot of research around how culture impacts companies. And one of them research, this is not a typo, said that a strong culture impacts the bottom line of companies 785% over the course of multiple years. All that being said, what we're talking about today isn't just about creating this culture, but it's about creating a dynamic company of which we give note to today. I'd like to talk about our two founding sponsors today, because without them, these events wouldn't exist. And Paul, I know that Paul Reed is so gracious and so grateful for our two major sponsors. So I'd like to thank Providence Healthcare today, and thank you for being the major founding sponsor. Thank you for believing in this event, and thank you for what you're doing to improve the lives and the quality of life of people in our community. Today we have Stacy Taylor, who's Chief Human Resource Officer at Providence, live with us. And Stacy, first, thank you. Please thank everyone at Providence and how grateful that we all are. We are profoundly thankful. And Stacy, welcome, and we'd love to hear a few words from you.
Great, thanks, Kevin, and great to see all of the participants on the call today. So I'm Stacy Taylor. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer for Providence Healthcare. And while gang, you know what, we're here again, responding to the pandemic challenges in our community. And I'm super pleased that the Journal of Business has continued with their Best Places to Work program, even if it means we can't be together live in person. Every year, our team looks forward to supporting this employer recognition program and recognizing our region's best employers. And guess what? The word's out. Because of your organization, Spokane is ranked as one of the best places to live and work. And we are here today to celebrate 38 communities that are central to this vibrant community. Providence is a founding sponsor of the Inland Northwest Best Places to Work program, and we're proud of this commitment now in its 6th year. We're honored to be a part of this event because it celebrates employee engagement. And for us, that's super important to our organization. And we just launched our caregiver engagement survey today to get our caregivers' feedback. With a long history that started more than 130 years ago, Providence now has more than 9,000 caregivers throughout the Inland Northwest that provide the best and most advanced medical care to our region. And although we can't be together this year due to COVID, one thing still remains the same, and that's Spokane's amazing business community's drive and passion. Throughout the pandemic, I've really loved to see how local businesses have come together to support each other during these really stressful times. And what you do each day shows that we can endure because our community's ordinary is really extraordinary. As your health leader, we'll get through this pandemic together. So I just want to thank you for celebrating with us We're joining together to lift up those in our community who are making Spokane a truly wonderful place to work and live. So thank you all for being here, and I'm going to turn it back over to you, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Stacy, and thank you for those words. And I particularly love that 9,000 caregivers at Providence that are making lives a little bit better every day. And also, Stacy, you highlighted something else that was, I think, I'd want to give a little bit of airtime to, and that Spokane has now been listed as one of the very best places to live and work. And that is symbolic of all the companies in our organization. It's symbolic of Paul Reed's Journal of Business giving highlight to all the great work that's being done in our community, but of everything we can be proud of in our community, that's certainly one of them. So thank you, Stacy, for your words. They were great. And thank you again for being a founding sponsor of this event. I'd also like to talk about our other founding sponsor, and that's Inland Northwest of Human Resource Management, or as most of us know it, INSHRM. This organization has been extremely active in HR issues and a host of critical issues which impact both employers as well as employees. So today, I'd like to bring up a friend as well. You know him, Mike Church. He's the president of INSHRM. Mike, it's great to see you again. Thank you for your sponsorship and welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. And my name is Michael Church, and I do have the honor of serving as the president of INSHRM. INSHRM is the voice of all things HR. And I was trying to think about how I might put that into context for all of you. While my wife, Lisa, and I were driving over to the West Side to drop our oldest daughter off for her first year of college. And that turned out to be a much more emotional experience for me than I ever imagined it would be. But fortunately, Lisa is the voice of calm and reason in our relationship, and she was able to talk me off the ledge a little bit, provide some wise words to keep everything in perspective for me. And I share that with you because Lisa and her calm voice of reason is a lot like the HR professionals in your organizations. HR professionals are the calm voice when distress and crisis happens in the business place. The pandemic and our crisis with this event is the best example that I can think of, where HR has been on the front line of trying to keep doors open, employees working, looking for innovative ways to recruit and retain talent in one of the most difficult business environments that we've seen during most of our professional lives. And a lot of people will also credit HR with finally getting our employees to start washing their hands on a more regular basis. INSHRM is the place where our HR professionals concentrate. They do that because our mission is to build better workplaces. And we do that by providing networking opportunities for our members so that they can learn from each other and take that back to your organizations, by providing cutting edge educational opportunities by way of legal updates so that our HR professionals can make sure that your businesses remain compliant with the laws. And perhaps more important than that, by helping grow HR professionals as leaders. And you don't need to look much further than our webpage at insurm.org to see the 22 board members that serve our INSHRM members. And I will tell you from serving on our board for many years that these are 22 of the best professionals, the best leaders that I've had the honor to work with. Because our mission is to build better workplaces, sponsoring Best Places to Work is a natural fit. We fully support, fully believe in this event, and we're honored to be able to be here and support the businesses that you'll be hearing more about in just a little bit. So on behalf of INSHRM's Board of Directors, our 500 HR professional members, we do congratulate each and every one of you in your quest to be one of our region's best places to work. So a heartfelt congratulations from all of us at INSHRM.
Thank you, Mike. And Thank you for those words and all that you're doing. I've been to your events and I'm familiar with InSherm, and you do play a critical role in our economy and our community. So thank you, Mike. I'd also like to give one more thank you, and this is to Little Fish Productions. This is a fantastic company here in Spokane, and once again, they've been an in-kind sponsor. They've done a tremendous job each year of preparing the videos for all of our finalists and editing them and getting down all the wonderful things all the finalists said to a few short sentences where we can capture the heart and soul of their company. So Little Fish, thank you once again for the in-kind sponsorship that you do. Now I'd like to bring to the podium Paul Reed. Paul is a publisher of the Journal of Business. He's been a fixture in our community, and I would always classify him as one of the legends in the Spokane region of who's made big things happen over the years. And so, Paul, thank you for what you all do in terms of bringing us business news on a regular basis, but also thank you for all the work that you've done in the community. Most of us were probably not even aware of all the tables that you've been in and making some of the big decisions to make Spokane what it is. So thank you, Paul.
Well, good morning, and thanks so much, Kevin, for the kind words and really for the person you are. Today we're honoring cultures. We're honoring best places to work, and I know that Kevin is known throughout the community for the kind of environment he creates for his employers. So I think it's apropos that he is today our MC. Well, good morning. It is a great day to celebrate. It's so gratifying that each year so many of you join us for this event. And I do miss the convention center. I got to tell you that. Looking out in that room and seeing all your smiling faces and the buzz and the excitement, it lifts my spirit. So we can't do that, but we can do this. And we're so glad for technology that allows us to do that. You know, the organizations that participated in Best Places to Work program this year, and many of you are here virtually today, deserve tremendous respect for their recognition that the success of an organization depends on the success and engagement of their employers. That, I believe, is especially true today as we continue to navigate this pandemic and to face really a fast-changing labor market. Each of us has had to rethink how we communicate with, support, encourage, and motivate our employees, who oftentimes are working remotely and are outside of the normal workplace environment. What we know is that employees everywhere have stepped up to the challenge. And from what I see among the 38 organizations we'll be honoring shortly, you as employers have stepped up to serve your workplace as well. For you, I have great respect. The very cool thing about Best Places to Work is it's not a popularity contest or even a juried contest. The organizations being honored today got here because their own employees scored them high enough in a very comprehensive survey. That's about as pure as it gets, folks. Although I would much prefer to do this in person, I am grateful that we can do this together virtually to recognize each and every one of you. So let's take some time to honor all 38 organizations whose employees rank them high enough to be called the best places to work in the Inland Northwest. Although in just a few minutes, we will be honoring some finalists and top awards in 4 categories, just making this list is an extraordinarily hard achievement. The next few minutes will not do justice in honoring these fine employers. I want you to know how difficult it is to be mentioned among them, as some very good companies, as Kevin said, have tried and fallen short. You should be very proud of the work you have done.
Here we go in alphabetical order. 4 Degrees, Aeroflight, Alliance Data, Alliant, ALSC Architects, Bathfitter, Canopy Credit Union, Commerce Architects, Community Link Consulting. Join me also in congratulating Community-Minded Enterprises, CW Crates and Pallets, Enersys, Eder McMahon, Lamberson, Van Wert, and Eriskovich, Ex-Babylon, Fatbeam, Fisher's Technology, Gallagher, and Healthcare Resource Group. And let's also congratulate the following companies: Insight, Intrinium, Caspian, Mariman Health, Northwest Farm Credit Services, Northwest Specialty Hospital, Northwestern Mutual, Numerica Credit Union, and Novodia. And please join me in congratulating Paytrace, Pilgrim's Market, People, Point Pest Control, Precision Tax, Progressions Credit Union, Rennan Associates, and Riverbank. And finally, let's honor Ronald McDonald House Charities, Stauffer and Associates, and Swinnerton Builders. Congratulations to all 38 organizations in the 2021 Best Places to Work Inland Northwest.
What amazing organizations, and Paul, what great words that you have. And just to re-emphasize, there's probably no greater award in the business community than when your employees recognize you as one of the very best places to work, as what's been noted today. We are so lucky to have these companies and these organizations in our region because they play a vital role in our economic development, in the prosperity of our region, and putting people to work. So next, I'd like to bring up our guest speaker for the day. I'd like to introduce Sinead Voorhees. Sinead is the Assistant Dean of Graduate Studies at Whitworth University, but yet that doesn't fully describe her. She is a graduate of Trinity College in Dublin, and over this past decade has been known for aligning passion with opportunity in international development. During her 9 years at Whitworth, the MBA program has doubled in enrollment and has developed the reputation as one of the strongest MBA programs in the region. She also helped create, along with me actually, the Institute of Leadership at Whitworth that is creating new ground in that category. And she's also been known for implementing a people-first approach, which is very apropos for today's conversation. So I'd like to bring up both a friend and an inspiring speaker. Welcome, Sinead.
Thank you, Kevin. How many of you have ever played the popular icebreaker game, Two Truths and a Lie? Kind of the key in that, right, is making your truth as plausible fiction as possible. So I always like to throw in that I am a returned Peace Corps volunteer, which is true. In fact, at the age of 22, after graduating college, like many idealistic millennials, I decided to change the world. And so I moved to Wellanchedi, Ethiopia. And my, oh my, was my world rocked. But upon returning to the States in Spokane, I realized that though I had set off to change the world, thankfully the world had changed me. And I came to this nexus point, right, where my next career move was going to set forward my path of intention and purpose. And during my existential crisis, searched for the job that was going to provide me my utmost meaning. And I did what anyone would do in my position. And I became a corporate event planner. And after 2 years at that job, I will say that I was fairly proficient at it. You know, I really love people. I'm not afraid of details. Chaos, well, when you've lived in a mud hut, in the drought, in the Horn of Africa, you know, stress is relative. But I remember a particular point in a team huddle during a very stressful month in which we had had a lot of events. We were working a lot, definitely feeling the grind. And I made this kind of irreverent quip. And in order to relieve pressure and provide perspective, I looked at my fellow team members and I said, listen, guys, chill out. It's not like we're changing lives here in events. And I'll never forget my boss, who was in that meeting, turned and looked at me with such shock and confusion. And she leaned in and she said, Sinead, we are changing lives. The tourism dollars our events bring in, the economic impact, the jobs we create, the exposure to our region. How can you think we are doing anything other than changing lives? And in that moment, I realized two valuable lessons. One, my very passionate boss should be CEO one day. And 2, I needed to quit because her passion puzzled me. Because this job in this field that gave her purpose and meaning, in which she was creating value every day, was a means to an end for me. It was the method in which I paid my bills so that I could live a meaningful life outside of my job. And what that made me was a good employee, not a great one, and certainly not the right one. And 3 weeks later, I quit. Jim Collins, in his prolific book, Good to Great, spent 5 years studying what moved good companies to greatness. Greatness being that they outperformed their competitors by averaging cumulative stock returns of 6.9 times the general market. And in this book, he cataloged the key ingredients to greatness. One of them, not surprising to the people here, is he said the recipe of great people. In his book, he said the right people don't need to be managed or fired up because they will be self-motivated by the inner drive to produce the best results and to be part of creating something greater. Ultimately, Jim concluded that having great vision without great people was nothing short of irrelevant. I actually have the great privilege to be the Assistant Dean of the Graduate Studies of Business Department at Whitworth University. And within this role, I'm afforded really the great opportunity to observe a robust data set of professionals through our MBA program, ranging in industry, in profession, in age, in gender, and ethnicity. 2 things are very common about a Whitworth MBA. They are ambitious and they care deeply. And often this care is directed outside of themselves, normally towards this community. And during the first year of the pandemic, my staff and I recognized intense emotions within our students. Shock, anger, fear, panic. And as we march on to the second year, we're noticing a different array of emotions: numbness, apathy, the general tired, being weathered. And I'll tell you, there's a stark difference between our students who work at your companies, at the best companies, and those who don't. The companies being recognized here today have demonstrated an incredible amount of integrity, of transparency, unwavering commitment to purpose and vision, all wrapped in a lovely bow of exceptional communication skills. I'll tell you, companies, that no one would have blamed you for mailing it in this year. No one would have looked twice if you decided to call it early, to give up, to do really just enough. But instead, what your employees have told us is that you leaned in, you showed up, you forged on, and as best you could, you left no one behind. And that is why here today, you represent the best among us. And I'll tell you, your employees were not just grateful for your contributions this year. They were desperate for them. Because now, more than ever, sometimes the best part of someone's day is that Zoom call where they felt seen, or receiving that email for a job well done where they finally felt acknowledged, where they finally did something right in a day, or simply being part of your team where they felt deeply understood. But as Kevin and Paul have said, for every company being recognized today, there are a handful here that are not. Inc. magazine is coining this era the Great Resignation, where for the first time in US history, we are seeing a mass exodus of people willingly leaving the workforce that are both able-bodied and able-minded. In fact, the US Department of Labor said that 11.5 million workers voluntarily left the workforce during the months of April, May, and June of this year. And in fact, Inc. magazine said that in all of their research, it boiled down to one root cause that manifested itself in many symptoms. And that root cause, while beautifully simplistic, is yet magically complicated. And it is that employees didn't feel like their companies cared about them. Care, and the absence of it being the reason why they left. And what does care look like in the workplace? Well, it truly is everything that you are doing and that what your employees have shared about you today. In fact, Gallup does a similar survey to what the Journal of Business does here in Spokane. And their survey has very similar findings, in fact, starkly similar to what the Journal of Business unveils for us in Spokane. And after decades of research spanning thousands of companies, interviewing tens of thousands of employees, Gallup has distilled their findings to 12 actionable workplace elements with proven links to positive workplace outcomes. They call it their Q12. And some of these elements have included, and I've spoken about them before, are so simple and yet so impactful. One of their elements is, I have a best friend at work. Another one being, at work, my opinions seem to count. Another one being, I know what is expected of me at work. And Q5 is my personal favorite because it states my supervisor or someone at work seems to care about me as a person. I feel like we ourselves, the people we work with, our families, have had varying reactions to the pandemic, especially when it hit. My mum, being from Ireland, started smoking at the age of 13, as most Irish people do. 2.5 decades later, she quit. She is over 65 and adorably doughy, as every grandma should be. And so she took every precaution to preserve her health. She masked when we were told to mask. She isolated when we were told to isolate, canceling holidays and trips. She double masked when that was recommended. She would air her groceries, this is no joke, in the garage for an entire day before she would bring them into her house. And when she finally, 9 to 10 months later, did go out, she would double mask, wear gloves, and disinfect her car every time she got in it. I remember asking my mom at one point, why did this to such an extent, right? And she candidly shared with me that she had more life to live and 10 grandbabies to spoil. This past spring, my mom was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And when the diagnoses started rolling in and we realized not great was turning into not ideal, and not ideal was turning into not good, and not good went from bad to worse, I remember sending the email to my supervisor, to my employees, and to colleagues, sharing with them that Sinead, the worker that they have known for almost a decade at Whitworth, would need to transition her efforts and her attention and her heart to Sinead, the daughter, as my mom walked the journey of what cancer unfolds. And a myriad of emails started coming in. And instead of an appropriate response, which would have been, we will adjust your work schedule, Zoom in as much as you can, work from home, we'll push back deadlines, we'll come alongside me, that would have been an appropriate response for them to care about me as a worker. Instead, I got a meal train set up for me and my family. I got a variety of emails expressing that they will collect my 4 young children from school and outings and help me and my husband shuttle, as I was going to be frequenting the West Side to visit my mom and to help her. And after all of these amazing gestures, in which I received no less than 3 times flowers sent to my door by my MBA students, I got an email from my dean, who is my direct supervisor, with one sentence. And it said, could you please provide for me your mother's full name so I can add her to my prayer list? And I have never felt more seen in that moment by my employer. And that was them caring for me as a person. Because before I was an employee of Whitworth, I was my mother's daughter. And I want to ask you here, do you think I ever wonder if my supervisor or Whitworth cares about me as a person? Do you think that I don't work as hard as I can for my students and for the people that I care about in this organization? I can tell you I do. Jim Collins concluded in his research in Good to Great that great companies clearly loved what they did, largely because they loved who they did it with. So thank you, Best Places to Work, for providing environments where people can thrive and contribute. This day is in honor of you. So congratulations for everything that you've been able to do for this community and the people who call it home. And for those of you wondering, quitting my events job was the best decision I ever made. And my boss in that meeting, a decade later, she is now the first female CEO of the Public Facilities District. So this indeed is a great day and a great time. Thank you for allowing me to share some of my thoughts and insights with you today.
Thank you, Sinead, for those very meaningful words and for sharing with us a story of your mom, which brings home how important it is for us that we all have something to give. And sometimes what we have to give may feel small to us, but big to others. There's one psychologist that always says the chief human desire is to be known and loved, Alan Lloyd McGinnis. And the power of that is that what Sinead highlighted so beautifully, the ability to be seen, the ability to be heard, that people want to work at companies that have a purpose. They want to work at companies where they have relationships. These are what the companies today, the 38 of them, have done extraordinarily well. So Sinead, thank you for those very, very meaningful words. I think we'll all sit on them for quite some time. As we move forward in the program, and as we're wrapping up, I'd like to tell you about 3 companies that are finalists today. And these 3 companies have done extraordinary work. And we're going to get to hear a little bit more about them. But I think you're going to be inspired, you're going to be motivated, and you're going to be intrigued with who these companies are. And so let me give you, without further delay, the 3 names of our finalists. Number 1, CW Crates and Pallets. Congratulations. Second on our list is Intrinium. And third on our list is People. CW Crates and Pallets, Intrinium, and People. Now, these are 3 amazing companies that are doing amazing things. Let's learn a little bit more about our finalists.
My name is Frank Duffy. I am the president and co-owner with my wife Heidi Duffy of CW Crates and Pallets. CW Crates and Pallets is primarily a manufacturer of wooden pallets, wooden crates. Secondarily, we can custom package items, whether it be a motorcycle or a snowmobile or a grandfather clock. It's definitely illuminating how you need to do the right things and treat people right. And I really amped up one is pay, more benefits, a variety of benefits that maybe others haven't offered, and just trying to create a culture where I do give a lot of responsibility to the foreman and now the operations manager to make a lot of decisions on his own. I used to go to the local diner nearby, and I'd see what I'd spend each time I went there. I thought, man, if I just went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of food, it's really not that expensive to feed everybody on a daily basis. I think when you put all that together, create a culture where people feel empowered and needed, it works. It's worked for us.
Hi, I'm Nolan Garrett, CEO of Intrinium. We're a cybersecurity consulting service that consults with enterprises across the nation, providing risk management services as they address their cybersecurity threats. For us, it's about developing a strong culture, right? And for us, culture is providing a really fun and engaging place to work where you're also focused on making sure that the customer needs are met, right? It's always about growing the people. The people are the core of the business. They're the ones who are turning the wrenches, doing the work, making our clients satisfied, and to give them, really a work environment that they are proud of and that they would, outwardly trumpet as people should come and work here because it's such a great place to be. There's nothing without them, literally, especially when you're working in a professional services consulting kind of world like we are.
My name's Tom Pack, and I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at People. I am responsible for all things revenue there. We focus on identity verification. For example, we find trusted identities and build connections that should or shouldn't exist. The executives of the organization mix and mingle and communicate with everyone in the organization. We strongly emphasize, voice of employee. Even today, I had lunch with one of our support people. It feels like a startup. It doesn't feel like a large corporate organization with bureaucracy. We encourage people to share their ideas and document those ideas. And, we implement those if they make sense, right? Not only do we nurture, but we encourage people to try and explore and become better. It's an opportunity to people grow their skills or try other things in the organization where they think they'll be effective. And that's really important. I always say this in my addresses of the company that great people make great companies. And I think the people that we have at People are really fantastic.
I remember former president of Whitworth University, Bill Robinson, once said that leading a college is really managing the inferences really well. And if we listen to CW Crates and Pallets and Intrinium and People, there were so many inferences on what they do to build their culture and build into people. Those 3 videos were loaded with really valuable information. But nonetheless, only one can be the top scoring employer today. And so with no further ado, let me announce the top scoring employer in the small employer category is, and congratulations to Intrinium.
Hi, thank you, Kevin, and thank you to the Journal and for everyone for putting this on. And Nolan is unfortunately not available today. He's on business travel. My name is Pat Atwall, and I am the CO at Intrinium, and truly, truly thankful to be able to accept this award on behalf of all of the great employees that we have. I mean, this has been a challenging year, and they have risen to that challenge and blown right past it, transitioning to work from home, continuing to support each other, continuing to foster our collaborative, supportive environment that we have, celebrating with each other our little successes, certifications, customers, and helping us recruit great employees over the past year as well to join the team. We just have a great work culture, and it's all due to each of those employees and everything that they do every day. So thank you. We're honored and humbled to be in the same category as the other finalists, and really, really appreciate the Journal for creating this opportunity for us and for the other businesses that have participated. Again, thank you on behalf of all of Intrinium's employees.
Hi, it's Paul Reed. Congratulations to Intrinium and all 3 finalists. We've collected a lot of data in the past 6 years that help differentiate great employers from good ones. Here's how employees scored their organizations. On the subject of leadership and planning, employees of companies that made the list gave their employer an 88% approval rating, while those of companies that didn't make the list gave their employer an approval rating of just 69% on that subject. Similarly, on relationship with their supervisor, workers of companies that made the list gave a 90% approval rating, while only 77% of those at companies that didn't make the list gave a positive approval. When voicing their approval on their pay and benefits, 89% gave a positive rating at employers that made the list, while at companies that didn't, 76% approved. Back to you, Kevin.
Paul, thank you for those words, and congratulations to Intrinium. I found those numbers and those stats. In fact, I was taking a photo of the of those stats so intriguing. What wonderful metrics that we can use in order to strengthening the culture at our workplace. And Paul, I don't feel like you get enough thanks for what you do in the community, but thank you for leading this effort and highlighting employers and organizations that are doing extraordinary jobs in our community. You spearhead this, and it's a special event and a special part of the nomenclature of our community. Next, I'd like us to move to the medium employer category. And here are the names of the 3 organizations. And I should list, by the way, that these are listed in alphabetical order. I should have said that the first time, but the 3 finalists listed in alphabetical order are 1, Aeroflight, 2, Fisher's Technologies, and 3, Mariman Health. Let's learn a little bit more about our finalists.
My name is Mike Lynn. I'm Director of Flight Ops for Aeroflight. I've been fighting fires for about 43 years. Aeroflight is an aerial firefighting company. Since day one, 1963, has fought forest fires, and we contract to the U.S. Forest Service. We contract to the state of Washington, and we also work for the Bureau of Land Management. We have mechanics, we have administration, we have pilots, and each kind of group has their own culture, and we support each other. And it's that cohesiveness between these different cultures that we do have that brings everybody together. Fighting forest fires is such a rewarding job when you are able to help someone save their house, you save timber, you save wildlife. Your heart is full when you accomplish those things. And we've had some very bad fires this year, but we were very proud to protect our own state and our community.
Hi, I'm Chris Taylor. I'm the CEO of Fisher's Technology. We're an all things office technology company, from IT to copier, printer, sales and service, to software solutions, to security solutions. We operate in the 3-state region of Washington, Idaho, and Montana, with 11 offices and 160 employees. But our obsession as a company is around our team. We more than tripled our level of communication throughout the company. Communication from me, videos, our leadership team, lots of information and transparent information sharing throughout the company. We created, and we still have this because people liked it, called it Fishing Hole Friday. We try and key in on the fishers, but I get to just talk with people and make sure we're all connecting as much as possible. We hire amazing, friendly people that are people. So to engage with us is fun and friendly. And our number one priority is our team, hiring the best people, getting them loving what they do, love working together, love taking great care of our clients.
I'm Stacy Dunn. I'm the Human Resources Director with Mariman Health. Mariman Health is the healthcare organization for the Coeur d'Alene tribe, owned and operated by, located on the Coeur d'Alene Tribal Reservation. We say over and over that Mariman is like a family. It's so deep and so true because it comes from the tribe, that the tribe is so connected as a community that anybody that comes in is part of that. It's all about caring for each other. It's all about doing more, doing better, and we're all connected. Your purpose is to be there and really be part of something bigger and greater and really powerful. We have just the most phenomenal team, and the things they do for each other, for our patients, for our members, and they take every opportunity to give that little bit extra, and it's so heartwarming.
It is so fun watching all these videos and hearing all the great things these companies are doing in the way that they're honoring the people that work for them. But we only have one top scoring employer, and congratulations to our top scoring employer in the medium category, Mariman. Congratulations.
Good morning. My name is Nikki James. I'm Executive Administrative Assistant here at Mariman Health. Not only a proud employee, I'm also a Coeur d'Alene Tribal member. I'm very proud of this facility and the care and services that our employees bring. So on behalf of our health board, our executive and leadership team, and our amazing staff, thank you. It's absolutely an honor. Thank you very much.
Hi, Paul again. Congratulations to Mariman Health and all 3 finalists. Well done. Here's more of what we've learned. When asked if they agree with the statement, I trust that if I do good work, I will be considered for promotion, 74% of employees of companies that made the list said yes, while only just over half agreed from organizations that didn't make the list. On the statement, this organization gives enough recognition for work that is well done. 83% of workers of companies that made the list agreed, while only 63% agreed at organizations that didn't make the list. And when given the statement, I believe there's a spirit of cooperation within the organization. A whopping 90% agreed with employers that made the list, while only 69% agreed at companies that didn't. Interesting stuff. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Paul. I find these numbers so intriguing, and there's research behind these numbers that are definitely a path for which we should aspire to walk. I know for me personally, they're very meaningful and are having me think a little bit about things I can be doing better. So thank you, Paul. Next, as we move to our large employer category, these are employers that are listed in terms of alphabetical order for their organization. And let me give you the top three now. Number one, in alphabetical order, Healthcare Resource Group. Number two, Northwest Farm Credit Services. And number three, Numerica Credit Union. Numerica Credit Union. Let's learn a little bit more about our finalists.
My name is Jason Coffin, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Healthcare Resource Group. A Healthcare Resource Group is a revenue cycle company that provides services to hospitals and clinics across the United States. Our services include coding, back office management, and consulting. We're an employee-owned company, which means we take our profits at the end of the year and share them with our employees. We really have an entrepreneurial spirit about our company where people don't just come in and look at a list and do work. They're really thinking about how to do things better, how to make our processes better. We believe family is really important. I encourage people, when your kids have sporting events or you have doctor's appointments or you need to take your dog to the vet, you can't have that stress. You need to be able to have opportunities to do that. So we have a very flexible schedule where people can take advantage of that. We really want them to feel that same passion and commitment that we have for a lot of our clients. They feel engaged. They feel like they're making a difference every day when they come to work. And we feel like if we take care of them, they're going to take care of our clients.
My name is Kelly Ferguson. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer at Numerica Credit Union. Numerica Credit Union is a local financial institution that serves over 164,000 members in Spokane, North Idaho, Wenatchee, and Tri-Cities. When you serve the people, the employees, when you serve the members, you're doing right by the organization, but more importantly, we're able to do right by the community. We have a great educational benefit, tuition reimbursement. Our CEO, Carla, instituted a new benefit. It's called Family Day. And what Family Day is, it's an extra day off with $50 that you can share with your family, loved ones, or someone that's dear to your heart. It's just a day to connect and be with your family. Whether it's a pizza party or playing out on the front lawn, we have a culture that cares about its employees, because if we take care of the employees take care of the members. Numerica is a great place to work and an organization that you can go home and be proud of.
My name is Sonia Jensen, and I serve as the head of lending programs at Northwest Farm Credit Services. Northwest Farm Credit is an agricultural lender, and we provide financing for farmers, ranchers, aquatic producers across 4 states, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington. I do think that it starts with having a mission and a purpose that we're all behind, help the agricultural industry in the Northwest and the food and fiber industries. And then I do think that the culture is created by, the tone, but also the tone of our customers. I mean, they're hardworking people, they're leaders. And I think that the people that then work with you represent those same characteristics. I mean, we've celebrated 35, 40 years retirements recently. And so I really think that we work with an incredible group of people, and that probably is what keeps people there for a long time and makes you want to come to work every day.
3 amazing companies, 3 amazing videos, so many outstanding nuggets. It was fun to see the Zoom video and everyone in costumes. It was fun to hear about Family Day. It was so much good in these videos. We have 1 top scoring employer in the large business category, and I'd like to give a congratulations to Numerica Credit Union.
I'm Casey Murray. I'm the SVP of IT here at Numerica Credit Union, and I am honored to accept this award on behalf of our president and CEO, Carla Cicero. Carla wants to extend her heartfelt gratitude for this award. She's so sorry she couldn't make it here today. She is traveling for business. First and foremost, we want to thank our Numerica employees who are, gosh, it's been a rough year for all of us, but so much grace and grit and determination and kindness, and they are here every day to help us live out our core value, our core purpose to enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities. So it's their dedication and their belief that makes Numerica such an amazing place to work. I also want to thank the Journal of Business for all you do in making this event successful, for giving us the opportunity to share our Numerica culture. I've been a part of Numerica's culture for 20 years, so I know that it's a really amazing place, and we worked hard to build this culture together. We've had to reimagine how we take care of our employees, what that looks like. We want to make sure our employees feel safe, heard, and taken care of, and we are so honored to see that they feel this way. So we will continue caring for our team members, working to foster an environment of transparency and connection, investing in education and learning, serving our 164,000 members with kindness, and giving back to the communities we serve. It's who we are, it's in our hearts, our core purpose, and our goals that we strive to meet every year. So no matter what comes our way, we know unified as a company and with the community, we can adapt and overcome. This year is a huge testament to that commitment, and each and every employee at Numerica makes it so special. So thank you.
Congratulations to Numerica Credit Union and all three finalists. Here's one last slide of what we've learned. When asked if they agree with the statement, the leaders of this organization are open to input from employees. 87% of employees of companies that made the list said yes, while just 69% agreed from organizations that didn't make the list. That's telling data. On the statement, I have an understanding of how this organization is doing financially. 86% of workers of companies that made the list agreed, while only 60% agreed at organizations that didn't. That's all about good communication. And when given the statement, I feel this organization has created an environment where I can do my best work. Again, 89% agreed from employers that made the list, while just 72% agreed at companies that didn't. Isn't that what it's all about? Creating the right environment? Back to you, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Paul. And once again, I'm captivated by these numbers, and I hope that you continue to share them with the city of Spokane and the region as you're asked to speak, which I know you frequently are, because this is really important data and research that you've gathered. Our final award today is for the Enterprise Employer category. And here are the names of 3 organizations that scored highest among large employers in alphabetical order. The finalists are Gallagher, Insight, and Swinnerton Builders. Now let's learn a little bit more about these finalists.
My name is Charlie Isaacs. I'm the area president for Gallagher in the Inland Northwest. Our job at Gallagher is to help organizations thrive. We do that by supporting their workforce, helping design competitive benefits programs, compensation programs to help them face their futures with confidence. We're not in manufacturing, we're in consulting. We don't necessarily need our people to be physically present to do our job. And I think our mentality and attitude of being adaptable and supportive of all of those situations, because of the way our culture is just intrinsically built, has allowed us to be pretty successful throughout this environment. People are finding more balance in some respects than they have in the past, and we encourage that. We have people that are home by 4:30 or 5 for dinner with their family who haven't been doing that for years preceding this. And we celebrate that and we appreciate that. And you support that person, you support the whole person, their development, and help them pave a path for their future where they see opportunity for growth. And we've been lucky just to find the right mix of folks to be able to grow our business effectively over time.
I'm Sherry Seavey, and I am Director of Client Operations at Insight. We empower organizations of all sizes with secure and innovative technology solutions to help them manage their technology today while building for the future. You know, Insight is really a special place to work. It's a values-based culture that we have of hunger, heart, and harmony. It's how we live and how we show up at work each and every day. The teammates are the key component of driving that culture and what makes Insight an amazing place to work. They come in, they live our values 110% every day. In order to do that successfully, you have to know one another. You have to be engaged with one another, and you have to care about one another. People come to Insight looking for a job, maybe looking for a career or for a change, but you'll find people stay at Insight because they found a home.
My name's Jeremiah Shakespeare, and I'm the local market executive for Swinnerton Builders. Swinnerton Builders is a commercial construction and engineering firm. We're 100% employee owned. Every one of us has an equal share in the company. When the company succeeds, we all succeed. When the company struggles, we all struggle, and then look for ways creatively to come out of those trials and become stronger for it. It takes, to me, it's just about time, right? Family is about time. It's about putting in the time. You know, we plan a lot of events outside of work. We do fun things. We try to include families, try to include kids. It helps us to learn who they are. It helps us to learn what they're facing when they're not at work and what they're working for, whether it's a river float or whether it's coming to the annual cupcake decorating contest at my house that we do every fall. There's all sorts of activities that we try to do that just bring us together. We're really looking forward to continuing to share what Swinnerton has to offer.
What an amazing group of finalists that we have. Let's give all our finalists one more virtual round of applause. And to everyone who's qualified for this list, because just to make one of the top three is a rare feat that not a lot of companies do. In fact, if you do the percentage on it, less than about 6% of employers, would that be right? About 7.5 employers that are of the 38, less than about 7.5% of the employers in our city are making this list. And I think that number is actually incredibly liberal. A small percentage are here. So please give a virtual round of applause, not only for these three, but for everyone that's made the list today. Okay, we can only have one top scoring employer in the enterprise category. And I'd like to give a congratulations to Swinnerton Builders.
Thanks, Kevin. We are humbled to accept this award on behalf of all of our employee owners and partners. We want to congratulate the other finalists and all those that were honored and qualified for this great event here today. We appreciate the Journal of Business for providing this excellent forum for employers and employees to have honest communication with each other and to learn and have candid conversations about how we can become better employees and better employers working together. Thank you so much for this great honor, and appreciate everyone that voted here in our company to make us better than we were before.
Well done. It's fun to see the enthusiasm of the employees that realize that they played a big role in this. Now, but before we wrap up today, a couple of things, so don't leave just yet. One is, I don't know if we always as a community fully appreciate what it means to fully sponsor and to be a founding sponsor of an event. Literally, these events and this event would not happen without both Providence Healthcare and Insurm. They dedicated hours of both volunteer time, financially, reputation. They've put so much on the line to help bring this event to us today. So to Providence and to Insurm, we are profoundly grateful. Paul and his staff are profoundly grateful. And the community is truly better because of this event today. It reminds us, it inspires us, and it encourages us to press on. This has been a hard year. We heard that theme through so many of our final candidates today. And it's a year where employees needed us the most. And for so many of you employers and people in leadership, you stepped up and you gave of your hearts and you gave of energy and time and resources, none of which you felt like you had over the last 18 months. But you did it because the reason that you're in the business world is to make lives better. And I've always been very proud to be in the business world because I believe it's a massive lever of which we can pull to make a meaningful difference for the people that work for us, as well as our community. And each of you have demonstrated the depth of which you've done that today. Paul also wanted me to thank his Best Places to Work committee. This is very important, to Brian Fix, Julie Orchard, Wade Larson, April O'Hare, Mike Church, Suzanne O'Neill, and without whom this program would not have been possible. And I'd like to give my last thanks to Paul Reed and his staff and everyone at the Journal of Business, because while you highlighted today all the companies that have great cultures, empowering ones and meaningful ones, you do that for our city and you build our culture. You inspire us, you educate us, you move us, and you encourage us to be more. And I believe that one of the reasons Spokane is ranked as one of the very top places to live in this country is literally because of individuals like Paul Reed and so many others. You have been holding the torch for us to look at. And we know that at some point, this torch is going to have to also be passed on. And I believe there are so many people in this community that are very qualified to stand on the shoulders of the great work you and this entire generation have done to make Spokane what it is. Truly, our best days as a community are ahead of us, while hopefully our worst days are behind us. But nonetheless, we know that people need us, and they need us to lean in when it's hard, and they need us to give when our pockets and emotional tanks seem empty. And that's above all else what today has been about. So congratulations to all the winners. You won in the time that history will record as one of the hardest times in the 21st century of humanity, but yet your employees said that you leaned in during this very difficult time. So I hope you feel especially proud of what you've done today. Thank you to everyone. It was a pleasure to be with you, and go forth and continue to make a difference.